Hey guys, it's ItsSMOGONdevo back at it with another set of practice battles. We're going to be messing around with Slowpoke a little bit more, but I'm actually going to bring in the Executor that I recently got, or at least recently got at the time of this video. So you get to see some action with Executor there too. And again, we're going to see the potential of Slowpoke shine through again. Definitely don't sleep on Slowpoke. Yeah, I don't have too much to say this time around. Let's just jump into these battles so you can get a look at Slowpoke and then get a look at Executor. These are early practice matches again, so there's still a lot I'm trying to figure out. I'm not 100% sure on a lot of matchups. Like, I had run sims, but it's one thing to look at the sims and actually get a feel for it in the battles. So after this though, we're going to get into more of my later battles and mess around with some other Pokemon. So we're going to move away from Slowpoke past this, but maybe I'll bring it back later. Anyways, just let's get into these and enjoy. So got some more battles for you. Going to jump into these. Gonna bring Venusaur with Raichu and Quagsire in the back. I lead into his Ivysaur actually, so that's kind of cool. You get to see sort of the mirror match right away. I'm just going to try and land my Sludge Bomb right away. I don't really feel like baiting right now. So I go straight into the Sludge Bomb. He is Razor Leaf, so I know I'm able to farm up energy quicker than him. He does decide to shield this. Now I'm building to my second Sludge Bomb. I'm just short. I decide to shield thinking he's going to try and go for the Sludge Bomb. And again, Razor Leaf is so slow that I knew I would get to the second Sludge Bomb first. So I farm up a bit more energy and then I decide to launch off my second Sludge Bomb. Manage to land it. Now I will actually be able to get to a third before he gets to his second, which is pretty great. Going to go ahead and knock out that Ivysaur. He's going to bring in Charizard now. I switch out my Venusaur really quick and bring in Raichu. I first go for the Thunder Punch here, trying to bait. I block this incoming move, just not trying to risk anything. It's a good thing I did it because it's a Blast Burn. I go for Thunder Punch again. I probably could have went Wild Charge, but luckily the Thunder Punch actually is able to knock out that Charizard, so I didn't really need to. But now we're in the mirror versus his Raichu. So I go Wild Charge, hoping to just do as much chip as possible. He's going to use his Thunder Punch just to knock me out. Now I bring back in Venusaur, and because I had that extra energy, I'm just able to get off this final Frenzy Plant, which is great for me. And we'll take that match. Going into the second match, I have Slowpoke, Quagsire, and Venusaur. Power of Poke returning. So I'm going to mess around with Slowpoke for this video a lot actually. I actually do try Executor a bit. I finally got one, or actually at this point I just managed to get one. So you're going to see that a little bit later. But for now I was still messing around with Slowpoke and I just wanted to try it out as much as I could. But anyways, getting into this next battle, leading the Slowpoke into his Raichu unfortunately. So I'm going to farm up a little bit of energy here. I don't want to farm too much because I know how quick Thunder Punch comes out. Bring in my Venusaur, hoping to catch a Thunder Punch or Wild Charge. Wasn't lucky. He switches in Zard, but I was able to get that slight energy lead. I go for the Frenzy Plant bait here, and I do get it. And then I'm able to actually get to my Sludge Bomb. So I'll launch that one out, and it's actually going to connect. So I take a massive chunk from his Charizard. By now I'm thinking Venusaur has done more than enough, so I let it go. Bring back in Slowpoke and farm a bit of energy. I have the shield advantage, so I'm going to choose to burn this shield just to farm up some extra energy. Expecting Raichu to come back in, so I immediately launch my Psyshock. Able to draw that shield, thankfully. I won't be able to get to another charge move though. But I do decide to shield because I want to keep Slowpoke alive. Not really sure what he had in the back. But he gets that Wild Charge. So Slowpoke goes down. I bring in Quagsire though, and I'm able to actually farm this Raichu up a bit. So I'm just trying to farm up as much energy as I possibly can without knowing what's in his back. In the back of his team rather. Manages to get another Thunder Punch, but it's not enough. So I launched my Stone Edge right away, just not 100% sure what he had. It was Venusaur, and because I went for the Stone Edge, I think I'm actually able to get to the second Stone Edge just in time. And that's going to be exactly enough to take out his Venusaur, which is great. So I'll take that match. And now we're going to jump into this other match right here, where I'm going to lead Fortress with Quagsire and Slowpoke in the back. Again, still just messing around with Slowpoke, trying to get as much practice with it as possible. So I lead Fortress into Charizard, unfortunately. So I farm a slight bit of energy, but I don't want Fortress to be useless, so I switch it out relatively quick into my Slowpoke. Again, maybe I should have farmed up some energy there. Looks like I didn't learn from the last time. So I switch in Poke, he switches in Raichu. I have to shield that Thunder Punch, but now I'm hoping to burn this shield. And I actually play very, very stubborn versus his Raichu. I don't want to give up my Slowpoke, so I shield again versus Raichu. And now I get my second Psyshock, hoping to actually knock it out. He decides to actually shield it instead, so now we're both at 0 shields. He's going to have to use a Thunder Punch to knock out my Slowpoke, or I will kill it. So Slowpoke goes down, unfortunately, but now I bring back in my Fortress, trying to farm up some extra energy. If I had just farmed up a slight bit more versus Charizard at the start, I would have been in a much better position. You see me trying to tap away that Rock Tomb. No chance, so his Charizard comes in and launches that Blast Burn and knocks out my Fortress. Now I bring in Quagsire, just trying to farm up some energy here. He unfortunately has Venusaur in the back, so I go for this Earthquake, but it's not enough to knock it out, and then he'll actually be able to get to this Frenzy Plant before me. So I lose that match, but that's okay. So this next match, I finally start trying out my Exeggutor. I'm actually using Double Confusion, which is kind of weird, but it actually worked out for me this game. So Slowpoke, Quagsire, and Exeggutor this time around. I lead the Slowpoke into a Venusaur, which is great, but he does know how to play this Venusaur match. You're supposed to piggyback the Slowpoke, but I knew that he knew how to play the mind games. So I get my Psyshock, he's just piggybacked me. He'll shield it and go for his Frenzy Plant. So now I'm going to shield his incoming Frenzy Plant and continue to build to my Psyshock, but because he's piggybacked me, he's able to get to the second Frenzy Plant before me. I decide to shield twice though. Then I knock out his Venusaur with the fast move, and I actually get to use Psyshock now versus Zard and take that final shield. So yeah, when you're facing Poke as Venusaur, you should be trying to piggyback to get to your second Frenzy Plant faster. That way you can pretty much guarantee the win. But if the other player knows it, they can piggyback you in return or shield twice. So now I have my Quagsire in versus his Charizard. I'm going to just farm up a bit of energy. He Blast Burns me, but Quagsire tanks that. Go for the Stone Edge. I don't really want to take a second Blast Burn or Dragon Claw. Knock out his Charizard there. Razor Leaf damage hurts, and now I bring in my Exeggutor. Trying to just chip it down with some confusion damage here. And I take that match thanks to Exeggutor. If he hadn't brought both Venusaur and Ivysaur, that double confusion might have backfired, but it was kind of cool to see. But going into the next game, I'm going to lead Raichu with Quagsire and Exeggutor in the back. I really do like Exeggutor actually. I think it's definitely going to have a spot on my final team. Still like Slowpoke, I'm not going to lie, but Exeggutor just seems to be a much cooler option. I really like its electric resistances as well. But, so I lead Raichu into Charizard. Go for this Thunder Punch, trying to bait. Of course I do get that shield, which is great. Going to shield whatever move he goes for, knowing that I can get to a second Thunder Punch before him, and I kind of learned that Thunder Punch is actually enough damage versus Charizard, so you don't have to build towards that Wild Charge. As you can see, I just knocked out Charizard with Thunder Punch. He brings in Venusaur. I was going to switch, but instead I decided to just go for as much chip as possible. So I go for this Wild Charge and take out about half his health. Almost get to that Thunder Punch, but I'm just short. Now I bring in Quagsire. This was actually a misplay. I should have went Executor. So I have to shield this move coming in, and then I switch to my Executor trying to knock out the Venusaur. I switch into the second Frenzy Plant, which was great, but he brings in Lantern, and because I'm so low, I don't really stand much of a chance. So you can see he's actually able to knock me out with Waterken damage. So now my Quagsire has no shields, and he's going to actually be able to launch a Hydro Pump. But Quagsire actually tanks it. I'm trying to just build energy, but it really was a lost cause. So you can see I'm basically dead, so I go for the Stone Edge, he shields, and now I have nothing left. So I lose that match, but it's alright. Going into the last match, I'm going to use Slowpoke, Raichu, and Fortress. And you're really going to get to see the power of Slowpoke in this match. It's going to shine really well. So I lead Poke into Zard. Just going for that Confusion Chip, trying to get to my Psyshock. So I go for the Psyshock and burn a shield. Continuing to burn a bit. He switches out Charizard, so I'm going to switch right away into my Fortress. And this is a really good match for Fortress, and his Venusaur is locked in, so there's not much he can do. I'm thinking now I'll finally be able to use that Rock Tomb, so I just decide to farm it up as much as I can. Fortress doesn't really care about anything Venusaur tries to do. So I take out his Venusaur. I was thinking about Rock Tomb, but I didn't know what he had in the back. So I waited a second, trying to think, and then I decide just to go for the Heavy Slam. He does bring in Quagsire, so it's a good thing I went for the Heavy Slam. But as you can see, it barely does anything to Quag. But I can get to a second one. Do a little bit more chip here. Just trying to get to a third one, but he does actually go for the Stone Edge and knocks out my Fortress. But now Slowpoke's going to come in. He has a Quagsire and a Zard in the back, so Slowpoke's going to absolutely destroy him. Get this Psyshock off and take care of that Quagsire. He does have a shield, but I have two, so I'm going to burn this one right here. Then I'm going to get to my Psyshock. Oh, just missed it, but I burn the second shield, and I'm able to get this Confusion damage and final Psyshock in, and take this match. So I hope you enjoyed those battles. Again, I'm still really liking Slowpoke, but after messing around with Executor a little bit, I think I tend to prefer it. I think if I'm choosing between the two right now, I'm probably leaning more on that Executor. But Slowpoke is definitely a threat, and as you saw especially in that last battle, it is nothing to scoff at. Given the right circumstances, and because of its really good coverage, it's able to put in a lot of work against a lot of teams. But that's going to be it for now. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Please leave a comment, drop me a like, and if you would like to, give me a subscribe as well. See you in the next one.